doing for us is ensuring that we have a lot more money, a lot more funds available to quickly and expeditiously clear the backlog of pensioners. And I believe that right now we are systematically on, I think, 2017, and before the end of the year, we will get to 2018. The plan is that by the end of the first term of this administration, we would have cleared the entire backlog, which means that from probably like 2022, immediately once you retire, you'll be able to have access to your RSA. So that is the plan, and we'd like to thank everyone for being patient, we hope that the process will be as smooth as possible. As the EG mentioned at the beginning, you go through the statutory requirements, documentation requirements that will ensure a seamless process when you eventually cross over to retirement. So with that said, this is really what I have just to say, that, you know, enjoy the program, enjoy the seminar, ask as many questions as possible. And we're hoping that we will meet each other again in full health and face-to-face, hopefully, when the redemption bond certificates are going to be presented to each one of you. And I pray that, as I said, you will not be replaced on that day, and it will be you personally coming to collect those certificates, and we will rejoice and we will celebrate. So with that, thank you very much. I wish you a very successful seminar, and we hope, as I said, to see you when we're collecting the certificates. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Establishment, Training and Pensions, for a wonderful keynote address. And we say amen to the prayers ahead of the program. We sincerely appreciate your presence on this call and your kind words to every one of us. And also to Mr. Oshin, thank you very much for your welcome address. And we also appreciate you. Also recognizing Mr. Babalola Obilan on this call. Thank you very much for being here. Without much ado, we will be going to the first part of the lecture for today. And that's going to be on retirement documentation under the contributory pension scheme. We have a seasoned person to take us through this session. That is in person of Mr. Afeez Oluwatosin Oyebo. Mr. Afeez Oluwatosin Oyebo is a principal manager with the HR and admin unit of the Inspectorate Department of Lagos State Pension Commission, LASPEC. Mr. Afeez joined LASPEC since 2010. Initially worked for 3 years with the Finance Department before going to the Inspectorate Department to handle various issues in that area. Mr. Afeez is an alumnus of Lagos State University, where he bagged a bachelor's degree in banking and finance, and later went to University of Lagos to obtain 2 postgraduate degrees. He holds a master's degree in business administration and also master's degree in management science. Mr. Afeez is a member of Nigerian Institute of Management and also a member of Certified Pension Institute of Nigeria. He's a seasoned resource person. He's taken this topic severally and he's been able to deliver values on this topic. So, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to introduce Mr. Afeez Oyebo to take on this session. Over to you, Mr. Afeez. Over to you, Mr. Afeez.
Good afternoon, our intended retirees. You're welcome to this section. My name again, Oyebo Afeez Oluwatosin, as introduced. I will be taking you through the rudiments of the necessary documents you need to put forward in order to ensure that of prompt payment of retirement benefits actually gets to you. So at the end of this exercise, you are going to understand those process. What are those documents you need to put together? Also going to understand the retirement bond certificate that you are going to collect, what constitutes it, and also a clearance letter that will be issued to you. How are you going to benefit from this? Then the type of benefits that you're expected to get. And at the end of the day, we are going to also explain to us the difference between program withdrawal and annuity. Therefore, you need to understand that retirement is what to be planned for and is not what to be scared of, because it's inevitable. The day you enter the civil service of Lagos State, you are expected to start planning for your retirement. And once you properly and you document properly, definitely you are going to get paid on time, because the CPS, Contributory Pension Scheme, ensures seamless process of retirement benefits, and we hope that we are going to enjoy it. There are two types of documents that you are required, or two types of documentation that is required of us. The first is the pre-retirement documentation, which is the documentation you are expected to put together immediately it is 6 months to your retirement. So it is now that you are expected to start putting them together. Then the next one is the retirement documentation. These are the documentation you need to put forward in order to access that fund in your RSA account after LASPEC might have credited your individual retirement savings account. Therefore, the pre-retirement documentation is to LASPEC, while retirement documentation is to your PFA for processing. Now, there's a saying that whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing well. How we say that whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing yourself. When you do it yourself, there is no way you will not do it well. Therefore, you are expected to commence your process 6 months, like I said. Also, you are expected to visit LASPEC to obtain the LASPEC retirement form, or your ministry or agency. Your ministry will also have the form that they can give to you. However, for some of us that are working in a parastatal, other government parastatal agencies, for example, Lagos State Water Corporation, Printing Corporation, and so on. What are you? LASADA, Agri Development Authority, and the rest, even LASA, LRS, all those stuff, you are not expected to come to LASPEC to pick a LASPEC retirement form. There is an internal arrangement for agencies to ensure that their retirees get paid and they follow their internal processing, which is all similar to the general one in the state. But then they are restricted to do theirs in their own ministry. The only thing they need to send to LASPEC is that a confirmation or a notification that you have been paid and that LASPEC should issue clearance. What agencies and parastatals get from LASPEC is just clearance certificate, not bond. Now, you also expected to obtain clearance letters. This is your own clearance letters from all debt houses or debt offices like cooperative, housing loan, and other loans, including personalized vehicle clearance letter. For those of us that are, permanent secretary that has personalized vehicle taken away, they need to obtain clearance letter for it. Then at the end of the day, the LASPEC form, after you have completed it, you should indicate your established file number at the top right corner. So when you have done that, you have obtained LASPEC form, obtained all necessary debt clearance certificate from all cooperative and what have you, then the following documents you need to get them certified through copy. That is, make photocopy of the following document that is being displayed and make them certified by your ministries. Notice of an acceptance of retirement. That letter that you are doing and the one they return to you that they used to accept your retirement, and they will indicate the date your retirement will commence. Then copy of all promotion letters up to 31st of March 2000 only, because what we are expected to calculate for you is what is due to you from inception that you enter the civil service of Lagos State up to 31st of March 2000. It is very, very important. Asset declaration, this is we have been given a direction since like 2 years ago that every civil servant must, as a matter of importance, obtain an asset declaration certificate from Code of Conduct Bureau. You can visit their office along Old Secretariat, obtain the form, fill the form accordingly. Then at the back of the form, there is a certification page where the Code of Conduct Bureau will stamp it and they will detach it and give it to you. This particular certificate from Code of Conduct Bureau should be attached to your document. Then copy of letter of appointment of confirmation, certified to copy, 3 parts of photograph. Another important document, which is the original record of service, duly completed, filled record of service is what is expected of you, not an half-filled or empty record of service. When I say empty, it doesn't mean your name is not there. Your name is there, but all your progression as you move from one state to another must be clearly stated. The record of service is one of the important documents that is used to carry out what we call salary progression. And once this is not available, it became very, very difficult for us in LASPEC to calculate your money. Then you will now be required to come back and pick that half-filled or absent or wrongly filled record of service to be now corrected. This may even cost you additional, time and headache. So please, those that are responsible to ensure that the record of service is duly completed are your admin and HR. So you should go now after today to ensure that the record of service is duly, completed. At the end of the day, all these documents, the certificate copy of all of them, apart from the record of service, which was the original, will now be submitted to your ministry. It is now the duty of your ministry to now put a covering letter for all these documents sent to LASPEC. And once your document gets to LASPEC, we now begin to calculate what is due to you under the pay-as-you-go scheme, which was discontinued on the 31st of March 2007. Then it will be computed and credited into your retirement savings account. What you have in your retirement savings account now is those contributions from 1st of April up to 31st of March 2007. In addition, you should ensure that even this contribution, employer and employee portion, that is being credited into your retirement savings account is completely credited. You may have what we call missing months. Some months may be omitted. After this seminar, please go out there to your various PFAs. Obtain your comprehensive RSA statement. Note it down, please. Comprehensive RSA statement. If you read from 1st of April up till the last day of your service, or up till the present time you have gone to them, you still have to go anyway. So you will have it up till the time you are going there. Then you can now check whether all the deductions are there completely. Because when you have short pay, or when your deductions are not properly remitted, that means you have been short pay. Then it go a long way to get this done when you have retired. But because you are still there, it is easy to do it without ASU. Okay? Now, at the end of the day, after we have calculated all your money and has been credited into your retirement savings account, we will now issue a clearance letter now from LASPEC. This will be issued on your behalf. We are not going to give it to you directly, to your PFA. We issue it, we send it to your PFA, stating that Mr. ABC has been paid all his or her entitlement, and we have also cleared him of all indebtedness in Lagos State, so he should be paid. So for those ones that will be owing money after retirement, you may not be able to get this clearance letter if you have not paid all your debt. Your debt, what I mean by that, for example, you are owing and you are not cleared by debt clearance office, you will not be able to get this done. Also, if you retire and after retirement, salary keeps coming into your account, please, it is not a blessing. It is not a blessing in disguise. It is a disaster in disguise, because at the end of the day, Lagos State government will discover any unlawful or illegal payments that you receive after retirement. So once you retire and you are still receiving money into your account, kindly, as a matter of urgency, report to the appropriate quarter so that the salary can be stopped. Remember, at retirement, you are only entitled to 50% of your basic rent and transport. All other, amenities under it, all other allowances are not in now. So if you are collecting salary after you retire, it means you must have been spending about 300 or 400% of what you're supposed to get for retirement. So in essence, you are already eating the future today. Lágbára Ọlọ́run àní jẹ ọjọ́ ọ̀la wa lénìí o. So we should ensure that we do the needful if and only if we receive salary after retirement. We should report accordingly. Now, the certificate now that you are going to get, it is also important for you to know that for those that are in parastatals, agencies, they are not going to receive bond certificate from LASPEC. What they will get is a confirmation that they have been credited by their agency. Their agency will pay them. The only thing they get from LASPEC is clearance. So don't expect that after retirement, LASPEC will give you bond certificate. The bond certificate only show the value of what you have been paid by the state government. Also, your agency can also give you like maybe a certificate. They can also do a retirement certificate for you. As a matter of fact, we have an agency that like Lagos State Water Corporation, they do give bond certificates to their retirees. While others don't even give certificates, they just credit that amount of money. So whether you receive a certificate or you receive a credit alert in your retirement savings account that your money has been, it is all well and Caro Ashomo, Caro Dimasho, Kidimati Gbofonio. So at the end of the day, your agency now, your employer will now write to LASPEC have credited you with evidence of you being credited, which are one, the copy of the computation sheet with which they use in computing your retirement benefits. Also, a retirement savings account, the statement of your retirement savings account showing that that value has been credited into your account. So we will check this document, the computation sheet to be sure that they have done the needful. Then we will now issue clearance. If you discover that there is a calculation or something is not right about the calculation, we will request them to do all over again and credit you accordingly. That is the essence of that clearance letter. After that, you have received clearance letter, we have sent it to your PFA. You have also received your bond certificate. After all necessary has been done, that's like I've calculated it that you have been paid into your retirement savings account. Then you move to the next documentation, which is documentation to PFA. These are the documentation to your PFA. As you can see, they are there. At the time you will retire, all these requirements will be given to you again as a checklist. But we need to just explain them to you now so that you can prepare for those that may be very, very difficult. First and foremost, you must ensure by now all of you have done your NIN registration, NIN by NIMSI. If you have not done it, you cannot access your money in your retirement savings account after retirement. So if you have not done it immediately after the lockdown, try and go there to do it. There is a special consideration for anybody that is 60 and above. They will attend to you first. Once you are 60 years and above, they will attend to you first. So, or you are even close to 60, you will attend to first. This is the practice at NIMSI. So you can be rest assured that once you get there, you will get your NIMSI done. The NIMSI slip is a prerequisite. Before they can even collect all these documents from you, the NIMSI slip is a prerequisite. Then other documents follow, like you are aware before, your letter of notification of retirement and acceptance, appointment letter, copy of bond certificate, the original copy. So when you receive the bond certificate on that day, please keep it properly. The original is going to be needed by your PFA. You may make photocopy and keep. All this will also be given to us, this lecture, by the time we receive our bond. Now, there's going to be an indemnity form that will be given to you by your PFA. That complete this indemnity form. Take it to Commissioner of Vote or Notary Public for endorsement and add it to all these documents, birth certificate or age declaration. Please make sure you do the correct one. Then photocopy of identification, driver license, national ID card, what have you. The Lagos State Registration Agency ID card, LASTRA. has not yet been approved as a form of ID card by by PENCOM for Lagos State retiree. So you need to get either driver license, national ID card, or that NIMC is also a good form of ID card for you to be attended to. So at the end of the day, when you submit all these documents to your PFA, you are expected to be given some benefits. Look, lump sum plus pension, or may God forbid, death benefits. For the M block, you are going to be paid all the balance standing in your retirement savings account. All the balance standing in your retirement savings account for M block. For example, when by law, when your retirement savings account balance is less or equals to 550,000, you'll be paid M block. We have category of people like that who came into the service late and they came into a very low date. All their entitlement, all their contribution is about 550,000. And also there are some that does not even have, access, or they are not entitled to accrued rights. That is, they join the service after 31st of March 2007. Such people will only be entitled to what they have into their retirement savings account, and it will be given them as M block. Okay? So the M block payment means everything at once will be given to you. Once it is less than 550, it is less or equals to 550,000. Then for second payment of benefits could be lump sum and pension. The lump sum and pension. We mentioned the lump sum first. That is just the nomenclature, but pension comes first. The idea behind contributing pension scheme is to ensure that that alert that you usually receive, that money continues. Then the lump sum come later. How do I mean? With your balance in your retirement savings account, taking into consideration your age, your sex, your level, your grade level as at the time you retire, your grade level as at 31st of March 2007, and every other thing that is used to calculate what to receive into your retirement savings account. We also look at it when they are calculating what you get as pension, your age, your sex, your level, and of course the total balance standing in your account. So by law, you have to collect 25%. Sorry, by law, you have to collect 50% of your basic rent and transport as pension. So they are going to calculate this 50% first of your basic rent and transport. That is why you have to submit your last pay slip, your PFE. They will determine what you receive last. Based on this, they will calculate your basic rent and transport. 50% of that will be programmed for a particular number of time. Then the balance will now go for you as lump sum. That is why it is not absolute that you will give 5% or 30% or 40% or 50% of your money. It depends on that balance. It depends on how much you are going to collect every month, which is a product of what you receive as at your last pay before retirement. So you have to ensure that you look attentively at that particular time to ensure that all necessary documents and correct documents and payslip are actually given to you. So the lump sum now is the balance after pension has been calculated. So please don't miss it. It is not ilaji or ilanio, but the balance after pension must have been provided for will be given to you. However, when they look at this total fund and they discover that it's not even so much, it is imperative or it is compulsory that they give you 25%. Whether the balance will be enough for pension or not, they will give it to you. So don't think you may not get it, but you will still get it. But they have to provide for your pension first. Now, this fund or this pension, you can either receive it through program withdrawal or annuity. Through program withdrawal or annuity. Now, the third one, which is death benefits, because that one is actually paid to your beneficiary. So the third one is death benefit, which is usually paid to a named beneficiary. Now, these are the difference between program withdrawal and annuity. The features. But first of all, I want you to understand that whether you opted for program withdrawal or annuity, you are going to be paid your pension. And there is no standing rule that says annuity is better than program withdrawal. So both modules are okay. There is no disadvantage in any one. However, one is better for somebody than the other. So you look at your situation and your situation and yourself and look at the features of the two, then you will know which one is best for you. For program withdrawal, it is done by your pension fund administrator. So once you receive your money in your retirement savings account, the first point of call is your pension fund administrator. They are the one to determine what will go for you as your lump sum. After that has been discovered, then the balance which was supposed to be meant for your monthly pension, if you are not doing program withdrawal, will be transferred to your insurance, to your chosen insurance company. And this insurance company will in turn calculate what you will get every month, sign an agreement, and you will return the agreement back to your PFA for them to submit to PENCOM for approval. And after that, you get your money. The payment period, you are going to start receiving money from your program withdrawal and runs out. But for life, now, what happens left in your retirement savings account are debts. When the debt comes, there's what we call guarantee period, if anything. So the guarantee period is usually for a beneficiary. That is, if you did not die within the first and the 10th year, they will not pay anything to the beneficiary if you die after 10th year. But if debt comes between the first and the 5th year or 6th year, the balance that will make up the 10th year will be paid to your beneficiary. So that is the essence of what is a guarantee period of 10 years. Whether you are alive or you are not alive, you'll be paid for 10 years, or your siblings will be paid for 10 years. So you can collect the money either monthly, quarterly, annually, as you wish. The custody of fund, your fund is very safe, is with the pension fund custodian. It is not with the PFA. Pension fund custodian is holding what? The money. We have 4 of the pension fund custodian in Nigeria: UBA, Access Bank, Zenith Bank, and First Bank. Those are the 4 banks that are keeping your money. So even if a pension fund administrator dies or annuity company dies, your money is not going anywhere. If you are doing program withdrawal, you'll be entitled to statement. For annuity, you cannot be entitled to statement because it's the full of fund. You can change from program withdrawal at any time to annuity when you are tired of program withdrawal, but you cannot move from annuity back to program withdrawal. Why? Because annuity is a pool of fund. Oníkálukú ló kówó ẹ̀wà tó kó sójú kan. Nínú owó yẹn wọ́n ti ń sanwó fún yín. So the interest on that money belongs to that company. So they are just paying you ọ̀gátà ọ̀gáùtà fún aláàrú tí yín pè ní. But for program withdrawal, you are going to be seeing how the money is growing, bottom for yín ṣe, tó ṣe ń lọ sókè, tó ṣe ń lọ sílẹ̀, ẹ̀ máa máa rí. So that is the difference why you cannot get statement for annuity. Then, and sorry, that is why you cannot move back to program withdrawal, because at the end of the day, if you decide to move back to program withdrawal, having started from annuity, let's say about after 20 years, so how much do you want to take back to program withdrawal? How much? Some of you that have moved to annuity must have even finished collecting the money you took there. So you cannot go back to program withdrawal because you are in a set of pool of fund. Now, you can change from one PFA to another, actually, after PENCOM approval. You can also change from one insurance company to another, but you must stay there for what? For 2 years. In conclusion, you need to start putting your papers together now, because they say a stitch in time says everything. Please note, there is no way you will not retire. You always retire at every point in time once you have taken the job. Lágbára Ọlọ́run gbogbo wa la máa jẹun ọmọ o, ṣùgbọ́n kò sẹ́ni kankan tó máa wojú ọmọ kó tó jẹun. Ìgbéga Èkó àjùmọ̀ṣe gbogbo wa ni. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Oyebo. That was a very wonderful one. We can feel your energy. We can feel the intensity, the passion you have in delivering this. That was a very wonderful presentation. And for our listeners, soon to be retirees, I do hope you learn a lot from that piece from Mr. Oyebo. We have several questions coming in already. Please be sure that we're going to attend to the questions within constraint of time as much as we can. So Mr. Oyebo, sit back, relax. We'll come back to you during our question and answer session. Thank you very much for that session. We are going to the session where we'll be talking about what is very, very important when we retire. That is about our health. Health is wealth, so they say. We have a very wonderful presenter, a facilitator, who has been able to do justice to this same topic at various fora. We have Mrs. Ada Dugan. Mrs. Ada Dugan is a seasoned human resource expert with 32 years of experience. She's done wonderfully well in our space. She's worked as legal counsel for Nigeria Industrial Development Bank for 10 years. She's also spent 10 years of her life with KLM Royal Dutch Airline. There, she's also worked as Total Quality Manager with Gulf Bank PLC, the defunct bank. Mrs. Ada Dugan is a lawyer. She is a graduate of University of London, a member of Nigeria Institute of Management. She is a member of Center for Management Development, Nigerian Institute of Training and Development, and a member of Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria. She is a seasoned facilitator, and I'm sure you're going to learn a lot from her. She has a very sweet, wonderful Yoruba intonation that will wow every one of you. She's been a wonderful presenter, and I can assure you, you are in for a wonderful moment. Over to you, Mrs. Dugan. Good afternoon.
Esteemed prospective retirees of Lagos State, my name is Ada Dugan, and it gives me great pleasure to congratulate you heartily on your forthcoming retirement. Ẹ káàsán, ẹ̀yin ìyá àti bàbá wa, orúkọ mi ni Ada Dugan. Mo kí yín pé ẹ kú oríire, mo dẹ̀ kí yín pé ẹ kú ìpalẹ̀mọ́ nídìí ìfẹ̀yìntì lẹ́nu iṣẹ́. Today we'll be talking about this very interesting topic, healthy living in retirement. Oh. Healthy living in retirement. Now, it is generally accepted that the greatest possession anyone can have is good health, from which we derive the adage, health is wealth. May the Lord grant you all good health, joy in retirement. The importance of managing one's health in retirement cannot be overemphasized. It can make the difference between a pleasurable and an unhappy retirement. Now, the ability to expect and constructively plan for physical, mental, economic, and social changes is critical to ensuring sound health in retirement. And our aim is to help you expect and constructively plan for the imminent changes in both your health and lifestyle that will make retirement very pleasurable. Now, we cannot talk about healthy living without mentioning the COVID-19 virus infection and pandemic under which we are all suffering in this country and in different parts of the world. We need to reinforce the precautionary measures such as wearing of a cloth face mask, protect yourselves and others when you're in public. Wash your hands regularly, every 15 to 20 minutes if you can, with soap and water. If you cannot, please get hold of hand sanitizer and use that instead. Whenever you cough, please cover your mouth and nose. Either cover your nose with a tissue or sneeze and cough into the sleeve of your outfit. This prevents the spread of the COVID drops. Now, practice social and physical distancing. If you can, work from home. Clean and disinfect frequently used surfaces to prevent the virus from spreading. Things like doorknobs should be cleaned very frequently, and stay home, except when you're ill. Then, of course, you need to contact the healthcare providers by phone or virtual visits. Now, there are certain ailments associated with aging because retirement comes with aging. There are things like minor mood swings, sadness, kamaronu, things like sleep. And why are we sad? Oftentimes when you're in employment and in service, you get up in the morning, you have a focus, you take a bath, you go to the office, you talk with your colleagues, co-workers, and friends who have almost become like family. Now, by the time you go into retirement, what happens? There's that loss of daily contact with people. There are also things like worry and anxiety over the economy, over family members. All this can cause minor mood swings. We also have things like sleep disorders, kamayi kata, kamayi kamale ronsu, minor visual and hearing impairment, kamale woron dada, kademale rino dada lai wojigi, forgetfulness. And this comes with age. The fact is that sometimes you get up to go to a room to pick up something. If you're interrupted, you may even forget completely. We forget names, we forget dates and events. There's also urinary incontinence. Sometimes we're laughing, heavily excited, and we suddenly realize that we have passed a little urine in our underwear. There's stiffness and muscle weakness. And tiredness, because of course we are not as young as we used to be. Now, there are also certain major things associated with retirement and aging, things like serious visual impairment. Sometimes it comes in the form of pressure, sometimes in the form of cataract, sometimes in the form of glaucoma. And we have to remember that glaucoma causes blindness. So let us take this very seriously. Cardiovascular disease, AROCO, sometimes manifesting in high blood pressure, ejeruru, or even diabetes mellitus, or sugar. Because we don't go to work every day, because we're not as active as we used to be formerly, sometimes you may begin to experience obesity, disorder. Sometimes it could be in the form of arthritis in the hands and the joints in the feet and the legs, aworoko. Certain forms of cancers, arun jejere, may begin to show up as well. Things like breast cancer, arun inu oyan for women, cervical, arun ile omo for both men and women, colon cancer, arun nifun, and for men, sometimes prostate cancer. Also anemia, arun eje, may begin to manifest, reduced kidney function, arun kidney, and mental health issues may begin to manifest, arun opolo, in the form of Alzheimer's and dementia. Now, we need to pay particular attention to managing mental health. In our country, we pay a lot of attention to physical ailments, but not sufficient to mental health issues, which often manifest first and foremost as depression. Please learn to recognize and deal with signs of depression. It will come in form of loss of appetite and weight. It could be inability to sleep. It could be in form of loss of energy and motivation. It could be extreme mood swings and irritability. It could be anger outburst in form of kamabinu sodi. Please consult your doctor and take immediate steps to deal with these symptoms that require medical attention. Now, our approach is a proactive one. preventive rather than curative. Kò dìgbà tí àìsàn bá sọ̀kalẹ̀ sí wa lára ká tó lọ rí doctor àbí ká tó ṣe nǹkan kan nípa ẹ̀. In this wise, we ask that you please observe good standard of hygiene. 2 daily baths in a day, if not possible, at least 1 bath a day. Ká tọ́jú eyín wa, irun wa, our hair, our nails, keep them short, keep them well kept and clean, an entire body. We've mentioned before hand washing. This is very, very important, especially during this COVID-19 virus pandemic era. Please wash your hands, and even the World Health Organization recognizes the importance of hand washing and has designated a day in a year as hand washing day. Now, we also advocate the prevention and early detection of critical conditions through regular visits to your doctors for necessary tests to identify potential problems before they even creep in. And in this wise, please make full disclosure to your doctors and tell them your family history so that they can follow the trend from person to person. We also advocate yearly physical examination and screening. Things like eye vision, blood pressure, blood sugar, chest x-ray, pap smear for women, mammograms for women, and prostate checks for men. We also encourage you in this preventive approach to do self-examination at least once in every 2-3 days. Please examine your entire body from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet. Examine your skin to see if there are any changes. Examine your body to see if there are any swellings or any material changes. If you do find them, please see your doctor as quickly as possible. For women, we also advocate breast self-examination at least once every month. It's very simple. All it takes is for you to raise up your hand, feel your breast entirely, one after the other, put your hand under your armpit and do a thorough check. Make sure that there are no swellings, no lumps. If you notice any, please contact your doctor as soon as possible. For men, we also advocate testicular checks. Our aim of this approach is to ensure that retirees enjoy a greatly enhanced quality of life. Now, the question may arise, how do we fund healthcare in retirement? We all know that we don't plan to fall ill during retirement, but it comes sometimes at a point in time when we don't even have a lot of money at hand. Due to the rising cost of fertility healthcare in Nigeria, it is important to plan in advance how to address healthcare expenses in retirement. Options include things like healthcare insurance. And it's kudos to the Lagos State government that the Lagos State government is looking into ways of subsidizing healthcare insurance for retirees over the age of 60 years, whereby you can go to a government-owned facility. It could be a general hospital, it could be one of the primary healthcare centers, and even some designated hospitals, and receive care for ailments like high blood pressure, arthritis, hernia, and a couple of others. Now, we cannot leave everything to the Lagos State government alone. We also have to take responsibility for our healthy living in retirement. So to that extent, we advise that you as retirees also have a little savings or investment fund that you can call upon whenever you fall ill. And this will cover ailments that are not covered under the healthcare insurance, subsidized healthcare insurance being given by the Lagos State government. Note again, it's kudos to the Lagos State government that the Lagos State government has a provision for senior citizens over the age of 60 years, whereby they can enjoy a percentage discount on surgery. Now, healthy feeding and optimal nourishment in retirement is key to having a healthy living. We advocate that you eat a balanced diet comprising the various classes of foods, the body-building foods, the proteins, the energy-giving foods, the carbohydrates, minerals, oils, and fat. Now, this is to ensure optimum nourishment. We advise that you avoid a lot of oil and butter. This is not good for the health. It might cause you some indigestion, but beyond that, it may cause your cholesterol levels to soar as well. We advise that you plan a weekly menu, because if you have a weekly menu, you can stick to it and eat wisely. If you do not have a weekly menu, what happens is when you get hungry, You eat anything and everything in sight. We advise that you incorporate a lot of fish and lean meat into your diet to make digestion more effective. Please limit the intake of junk and fast foods. They may be very tasty, but truth is they don't add much nutrients to our bodies. Eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. Avoid late night eating to prevent indigestion. And here I must mention the importance of drinking water. Drink a lot of water because water has a lot of functions it performs in the body. It rehydrates our body, it regulates our temperature, it causes us to have regular bowel movement. It also flushes toxins out of our body. And in this wise, I'd like to mention the Japanese water therapy. You may have heard about it. If you look at the average Japanese person, they are very slim, are they not? You can hardly find inches of fat on their body, and they live healthy and long lives. What they do is when they wake up first thing in the morning, before eating anything, they drink 4 glasses of water and take no food for 45 minutes. What this does, it helps to flush out all the toxins from your body. After 45 minutes, you may eat something. If you cannot start with 4 glasses of water, take 2 and then increase it as you go along. You will find that you will not suffer from constipation, your skin and body will be healthy, and you would also feel very healthy, light of frame. This has even been found to reduce high blood pressure. We advocate that you also have regular physical exercise, at least 20 to 30 minutes every day. Things like brisk walking, sports, jogging, swimming, in which you use all the muscles of your body, tennis, cycling, aerobics workout, exercises. Very important. It has even been found out that, and research has shown, that more business deals have been clinched on the golf course and even in offices. Dancing is something, an exercise we all enjoy, but we don't recognize it as dancing. Put on the music you used to enjoy as a young person and make all those moves and all those dance steps you used to enjoy, even while doing domestic chores like sweeping, dusting, scrubbing, laundry, ironing, gardening, to mention a few. And you'll find that you sweat a lot. You use all the muscles of your body while trying to reinvent those old steps that you used to dance to. And you will even feel very happy at the end of it. It'll keep you very fit, believe me. We ask that you try and reduce stress level. It's a time also when I know that you may have a lot of worries and anxiety in different forms. It's not just about health, about family members, family issues, finances, and all that. It's also a time when a lot of the children would have left home, leaving us alone. Now, try and reduce your stress level. Develop a confident and positive mindset. Also realize that your thoughts create a direct physical effect on your body. When we experience negative emotions, it impacts negatively on our body. You'll find that you're shaking, you're quivering. Sometimes you can't rest, you cannot talk. Avoid negative emotions like anger, resentment, unforgiveness, because those do not do us any good. Interpret events in a positive manner. Believe that the best is yet to come and find ways to relax. There are different ways of relaxing. Some people like to listen to music. Some people like to listen. Some people like to meditate. Some people like to engage in yoga. Other people just like to read widely because it actually increases our knowledge and helps to keep the brain alert. Try also to eliminate addictions, bad habits, and do all things in moderation. Gbogbo àṣà pálapàla, àṣà burúkú tá máa ń ṣe ńgbà tá kéré, ká má ṣe mọ́. Reduce and eliminate smoking because smoking is bad for you. Smoking actually hardens damages the blood vessels. It can cause lung cancer. Moderate alcohol intake, moderate sugar intake because you don't want to bring on blood pressure issues. And here we mention the importance of quality sleep. Please protect the quality of your sleep to ensure that it is crucial to your health and happiness. If you do feel tired in the afternoons, please take power naps to recharge as needed. Reduce caffeine and alcohol intake after 6 p.m. because it doesn't allow you to sleep. Have a wind down ritual such as taking a warm drink or bath before sleeping, and please sleep in well-ventilated rooms. Now, whilst the body deteriorates as we get older, there are ways in which we can keep our mind alert and slow down the aging process through, for instance, giving back to the community and getting involved. Engage in volunteer work, non-profit organizations, engage in mosque activities, church activities. Engage in all those activities. It does help us greatly to stay connected to people, to also enjoy group activities. Fundraising for the underprivileged in society, and we have orphanages. We have the mentally challenged, we have the people who are physically challenged. Let us try to raise funds for these institutions and organizations as a way of giving back to the community that has helped to make us who we are. If you're highly cerebral, then you may want to sit on the board of schools and universities and higher institutions and contribute your own. Engage in consulting work, also the mentoring and coaching of young professionals. Maintain a healthy social network. It is generally believed that there's a close correlation between the number of people you are close to and your health. Happy, active people with lots of friends or and relatives will make considerable use of their mental and physical faculties, which in turn keeps them healthy, young, and energized. We often hear in Nigeria of people saying that, but why is this? It's because our children go to work early in the morning, leave home by 5, 6. Well, thank God for this COVID area, pandemic area, whereby they are left at home. But invariably, you find nurturing of grandchildren and young members being left to nannies, being left to domestic helps, being left to caregivers who only pass on their own values to our children. So assist in nurturing your grandchildren and young ones, inculcating in them the right values. There's an adage that you either use your mind or you lose it. Use your mind to generate creative and innovative thoughts and ideas. Do a lot of reading widely on different topics. It helps to keep you educated. You could also do crossword puzzles. It's great fun and it helps you to use the mind. We could also engage in hobbies and activities we've always wanted to indulge in, but have had no time. For those who like traveling, our top parent in reality, once the COVID pandemic era is over, please engage in traveling. It helps to broaden our horizon, helps to keep us educated, enlightened. Turn hobbies into little businesses that translate into income. For our top parent Ododo, you could grow flowers, have a florist shop, or even operate from within your own garden. For those who like arts and crafts, those who like drawing, I want to like àwòrán, I want to like kamasileke, I want to like àdìrẹ, tie and dye, I want to fẹ́ràn kó máa ṣe aṣọ òkè. This is a time when you can actually do that to make money and additional income for yourself aside from your pension. Business, you could open a business center. Fáwọn tó fẹ́ràn ìpanu, ìpanu, things like chin-chin, àkàrà òyìnbó, cakes. Those who like pastry, making pastries and things like that, mosa, you can make them and sell. This will translate into additional income, daily income for yourself. Let's not rule out drama and acting because a lot of us have those skills and talents, sometimes latent in us. I have an aunt who joined Nollywood after the age of 60. I tell you that the happiest times I saw her was when she was preparing to go on set. And it also helped her to earn a lot of income and be financially independent. So we advise you to enjoy quality life and healthy living as shown in the slides we have given you here. In conclusion, we say that healthy living in retirement is a critical component of retirement planning. And just as we engage in financial planning for retirement, the same principles should be applied to health planning to ensure a healthy enjoyable, vibrant, youthful, and satisfying retirement. We advise that you invest a little time in your health and lifestyle every day to experience and enjoy a very high return on investment, which is longevity of life and enhanced quality of life. In this vein, we ask that you start preparing today for tomorrow. Àgbà wa dalẹ́ o, á sàn wá síre, á sàn wá sálàáfíà, á sàn wá sílé, á sàn wá sọ́mọ. Ọjọ́ ọ̀lẹ wa á dájú òwúrọ̀ wa lọ, á ní sunkún ọmọ, ọmọ rere á gbẹ̀yìn wa o. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó ó di àjùmọ̀ṣe. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen of Lagos State prospective retirees, for your kind attention. I can be reached on the contacts below. My email addresses have been given and my telephone numbers if you have any further questions or comments you would like to make. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Dugan. That was quite a that was an insightful one. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. And I believe listeners, you agree with me when I said earlier that she's loaded. Now she has downloaded to us. So it's just for us to go through and learn a lot. There's been some questions around if these materials will be available to you. The next speaker is going to tell you how you will access the recordings from this material, from this session, and the materials that will be available to you. Please, I want to call the attention of everyone, especially the participants, to the fact that question and answer button is available at the bottom of the platform. I have seen some questions in the chat room. If you ask question in the chat room, we may probably not attend to it. Please go to the question and answer room. We've had over 43 questions, out of which we've been able to answer 18 people. So when we get to the question and answer session, we would be answering some of your questions. Again, I want to draw the attention of the participants to a WhatsApp link that was sent by Ogundare Fumilayo Mercy. I think there is need to obtain a permission to do that. So please, we advise that we exercise caution in joining that group, because it's not officially coming from LASPEC. It's not coming from Lagos State Pension Commission. It may be in existence, but I just want to mention that we'll exercise caution there. We're not saying it's a fraudulent link, not at all, but we need something official in this forum. So that's what we are trying to express. Thank you very much, Mrs. Dugan, once again. You've aced it as usual. You've done wonderfully well. We look forward to more from you in the future. To handle our next session, we have Mr. Babatunde Yusuf, who will be talking to us about virtual communication with retirees. We have the new normal. Things have changed. We're no longer going to engage physically. We're going to go on a different platform. The life that we are going to face is quite different. So you can reach LASPEC from any part of the world. We have a very seasoned man going to handle this session. His name is Mr. Babatunde Yusuf. He is an IT guru. He's the Director of Information and Communication Technology of Lagos State Pension Commission. Mr. Babatunde joined LASPEC in 2010 from Intercontinental Bank. He has a wide range of experience, and I will assure you, by the time you see his qualifications, you will know that he's a born IT guru. Mr. Babatunde is a graduate of physics from University of Lagos. He has also obtained master's degree in computer science, also currently running master's degree in business administration. Mr. Babatunde is the project management professional, a certified Oracle database administrator, OCA. He's a certified IBM Linux Unix administrator. He's IBM U Java certified. He's OCJA, IBM Machine Learning and Data Science certified. You will know people that are born into IT world. This is ability, not ability. Ladies and gentlemen, we would like to welcome Mr. Babatunde Yusuf, who is going to take us through our virtual world that we will be experiencing going forward. Over to you, Mr. Babatunde Yusuf. Thank you. Please, you can unmute yourself, please. Mr. Yusuf, please unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. All protocols observed. I would like to start on the existing protocol. My job here is simple. I am particularly happy that today, close to 700 people have joined this virtual meeting. It shows that we're all embracing IT, and then the e-learning is doing its work. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take you through various virtual engagement channels that we have in LASPEC. And for this documentation seminar, I will navigate you through it, and then you will see how you'll be able to contact us after this exercise, and of course, even now. Just before today, specifically last year, this is the way we were seated. We were knitted together, we danced, we sang, but this one has gone, at least for now. So, how do you reach us? Before now, LASPEC, you know, we have been very friendly. You walk into our office, you drop your document, you move from desk to desk. But over time, we have been giving you these hints as if we even know that we'll get a situation where contact will be coming uneasy as we are having it now. First of all, starting from our email to our retiree portal, to the website, to the helpline, to direct messages, and Zoom. Now, you can also agree with me that the invitation you got today, nobody came to you, nobody gave you physical documents. You received it either through email, one channel that is E or the other. Now, what do we do immediately this problem of COVID started? We activated all these channels, and we made sure that the way you are now reaching out to us is different from the way you are doing it before. What do you normally do before? Very simple. Whenever you want to submit documents to us, what you do actually is to come to our office and start moving from desk to desk, submitting those documents. However, this is not going to happen again, and it's not happening. Starting from around January, we have activated our email. It has always been there, but we have been informing everybody that wants to have dealings with us. Please scan your documents and send it into our email. We also have officers that used to attend to you before that you are familiar with. Now, all these officers' email will also be shared with you. We will send it through the normal bulk SMS to advise you on how you are going to get this document across to us. Now, for us as LASPEC, we recognize that our work is 50% official and 50% NGO. What do I mean by this? We still have people, well, less than 10% sometimes, that will still not want to use the e-channel, or finding it difficult, or they just want to come across to us. But everybody will have to obey the rule at this time. But we gave a very small window opportunity to those people. What we do is to put a collection box at our main entrance, and it is manned by our officer, so that for those people who still believe they must bring the document to us physically, they can drop it inside the box, because even documents do infect. We will pick it up, disinfect it, and then process it for you. But like I said, this is not ideal. It is important we all key in to these e-channels. Now, for the submission of RSA statements, well, Nobody prepared for it. COVID-19 came. Even the PFAs are becoming unaccessible. People could not go in there directly to collect the RSA statements. But what we have done is that by the time we pick your documents and we get all your documents together, we can help you get the RSA documents. We are linked to the PFAs. They will direct these documents to us. Then finally, is the issue of bond certificates. You know, all the documents you have been submitting, just as the previous speaker, said, the aim is to have access to your accrued rights. And of course, a bond certificate will be presented to you. In the past, this one would do it during a very large ceremony. And we hand this bond certificate to you, over to you one by one. This is not going to happen, and I'm not too sure that it's going to even happen in the future. So what we are doing at present is to transmit this bond certificate to your PFAs. After all, these are the people that will pay you. But again, we still remain there for you to find out whether you are scaled through, whether your documentation and everything is correct. And that is why we also have other channels by which you can interact with us directly. We have a portal known as laspecportal.com.ng. Please take note of that name. Let me also say here, so that you don't bother yourself too much about taking notes on features of this data, of this portal. That can be very troublesome. Now, this is the portal. And this portal, even this recording will be available to you in this same portal. So just pay attention to me taking you through some of the features. Over here, the menu we have here are 5. And the very important menu for you is home menu. This home menu is where you have places where you can complain, place where you can check whether your bond is ready or it's not ready. If you have any problem, this is the place you can access it. On the form area, it is only when you get to the other end of retirement, which is when you want to collect your ID card, for instance. You want to have access to retiree benefits like the health benefits, the transport benefits, which is a program that Lagos State government is looking at, providing discounts for those who are already pensioners. Then in the seminar menu here, what will happen there is many of the contacts we have today, the hard copy, if we have this kind of occasion before, what we do is to share a hard copy document for you. You will pick up the hard copy, look at those checklists, and then read it over and over again. What you do now is to come to this portal and check the hard copy. You're going to find it there. You can download it and print it. We also have frequently asked questions, which is FAQ. If you press that button, you go into questions that have been gathered over 10 years. Close to 70 to 80 questions have been put in there with answers. These were answered by professionals. And of course, by the time you go through all this, you may not have any need to even ask us any question again. You will have become expert yourself. Now we have the contacts. If I decide to go down this menu, you will see complaints and inquiries. If you press complaints and inquiries, you have a form where you're supposed to put your complaints, put where we are supposed to link you again, and then submit. If you do that, because it's available even on mobile, our officer will see the complaint immediately and they will attend to it immediately. It also happened to info@laspec.gov.ng. Now, if you look at this page, look at the topmost, you will see Laspec TV. You see the Laspec TV. If you click it, you will see many events that we have organized in the past. You will see documentation seminars of almost 3-4 years back. You will see similar speeches that were delivered by professionals on health, on finance, and on every other issue that happen. So, you know, sometimes when you watch, you'll be able to comprehend more. So here again is where you will go to and see what has happened today. We'll put a recording here, and then you have access to it and check it over and over again. Now, after all said and done, you want to get your bond. You want to know whether your bond is ready. Now, if you go down on the home page, you will see a portion where it asks you to supply information to check if your bond certificate is ready. What you just need to put there is just your PFAP number and then your surname. If you put it there and your bond certificate is ready, it will tell you immediately your bond certificate is ready. If otherwise, it will tell you that your bond certificate is not ready, and then you should contact us back. Let me say that before this happened, you will have been having contacts with us on the state of your documents and whatever. And of course, if there's any need why your bond certificate is not ready, if you click the contact menu here, you will get across to us at the back end, and then we'll be able to send the reason to you why your bond is not ready. Now, I want to conclude by asking you to visit lastpetportal.com.ng for a video copy of this event for offline references. Also, a comprehensive tutorial will be done on the portal itself, and then you have access to it as well. Now, I want to thank you very much for your attention, and I want to say that Igbeka Igbele-Eko Ajumose Gbogbo wa ni. This is my email address, and this is my contact. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mr. Babatunde Yusuf. You've been able to, once again, take us through a journey, wonderful journey on technology, the relevance of technology in managing our pensions. Thank you very much. That was quite insightful, wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, on this call, you agree with me that we have seasoned men and women taking us through a wonderful thought line. And I want to assure you that the record is not over yet. We have one more piece to go with Mr. Adewale Soetan. Adewale Soetan will be talking to us on how to manage our finances after we've gone into retirement. Mr. Soetan is a Deputy Director in the Finance and Investment Department of Lagos State Pension Commission. He is a chartered accountant and is a specialist in investment strategy and portfolio management. He spent quite a number of years in the banking sector and he's so seasoned, he has grinded his teeth, and he has that capability to tell us the truth and nothing but the truth on how we manage our finances. Mr. Soetan is going to take the floor right away while he's telling us how to really prevent wastages, how to live a fulfilled financial life when we go into retirement. So, Mr. Soetan, over to you, please. Kindly unmute yourself. We'd like to have your slide as well. Thank you. Mr. Soetan, over to you, sir.
Yes. Good afternoon, Honorable Commissioner. Permit me to stand on already established protocols. My name is Wale Soetan, and I'm here to present to you a paper titled Managing Your Finances in Retirement. First and foremost, I wish to greet all our intending retirees. Mo kí wa pé a kú ìpalẹ̀mọ́ retirement o. Á dé bá wa ní ayọ̀ àti àlàáfíà. I'll just take you briefly through what I have for you today. Managing your finances in retirement. I need you to understand that basic realities of life that you need to come in retirement. First and foremost, You need to understand that retirement is a journey and not a destination. Retirement is a journey and not a destination. You need to understand that this is the beginning of a new phase of life for you. It is not the end, but rather the beginning of another phase of life. Number two, you need to realize that your income levels will reduce drastically, and you must be able to adjust your lifestyle accordingly. Number three, you need to understand that your salary alert will stop. We all are used to receiving salary alerts on the 23rd of every month. But from now on, it's not going to be on the 23rd of every month. So you need to understand that fact as well. Number four, you need to understand that your fringe benefits while you are in office will cease and no longer be available to you. You know, while we're in office, apart from our salaries, there are some fringe benefits that are available to us. You know, all this will stop, you know, by the time you are retiring. And number five, you will feel the effect of inflation more. You will feel the effect of inflation more because the purchasing power of money has reduced drastically. So these are the realities that you must come to terms with at the time that you are retiring. Now, by the time you are retiring, there are two categories of payments that will come to you. The first one is your lump sum. Afiz Oyebo has explained this to us. Your lump sum will come to you in a lump sum, and then from then you have your monthly pension, which will come to you by way of maybe program withdrawal or annuity, depending on the one that you choose. So for your lump sum, I want you to know that when you collect your lump sum, please do not be in a hurry to start spending. Take your time. I know that by the time you are retiring, all of us will have some level of financial obligations that are already awaiting us. You know, you must have borrowed money here and there, you know, or enter into one or two financial obligations. Take your time. Don't be in a hurry to start spending this your money. So I'll just take you through some basic things that you need to do before for this to help you to manage your lump sum effectively. Number one, avoid risky ventures. Avoid risky ventures. Do not engage in risky ventures. At this stage in your life, you do not have the appetite to take risk. You do not have the appetite to take risk. So don't engage in risky ventures. Number two, invest in productive assets and not wasting assets. Assets that are productive, those are the assets that you should put your money into. Wasting assets like vehicles, like clothes, like jewelries, like flying all over the world, traveling all over the place. These are wasting expenditures. Please engage in productive assets. Number three, in the short term, before you think of the kind of business that you want to do, you can buy financial instruments, you know, that will give you good returns, even while you are waiting to decide on what kind of business that you want to do. Financial instruments like treasury bills, like bonds, like bank deposits and all those things. You can buy those ones in the short term. Then number four, I know that most of us, we already have big houses and big mansions. At this point in our lives, our children they're all married. So it's just us and our spouses, you know, that are living in our house. So if you have big houses and big mansions, I advise that you convert part of your apartment for rent income, so that you can have income from extra income from those mansions, 5-bedroom, 6-bedroom houses anymore come. Then discretionary expenses like marriages, birthdays, housewarming, all those things, you must carefully plan to be buying souvenirs at parties at this time in your life. Then lastly, you try to engage in daily income activities, activities that will give you daily income, daily cash flow that will sustain you, in a little way, like petty trading, or you can start a small business venture or enhance your existing business for better performance and returns. That is all about your lump sum. Now, for your monthly pension, you need to realize that your monthly pension is just your monthly income that should cover things like your daily feeding, your Medicare, and household utilities. So there's some things that you need to do that will help you to manage your monthly pension, and I'll quickly run through them. Number one, you need to cancel all forms of credit cards. If you have any credit cards that you are using at this time, credit cards are just like loans from banks. You don't need them at this time. Just cancel any form of credit cards that you have. Number two, you do not borrow against your monthly pension. Do not borrow against your monthly pension. You know what your monthly pension is. Live within that means, and God will help us all. Number three, do not buy Asoebi. I've said it before. Do not buy Asoebi or distribute souvenirs at parties with your monthly pension. They do not engage in government contracts unless it is cash backed. I'm not saying that government contracts is not good at this time, but this is not a time for you to engage in government contracts that are not cash backed. You are very, very sure that it is budgeted for by the government and the government is ready to pay for it. Government contract is not supposed to be what we should be engaging in at this point in our life. They do not make purchases on credit. I've said this before. Avoid any form of credit expenses. In conclusion, if you have to pass down any assets to your beneficiaries, particularly our children, please do so while still alive by writing a will or establishing a trust or foundation. Writing a will is not a death sentence where we are able to travel for leisure and put up our feet and reflect on life. I pray that we shall live the rest of our lives in good health and prosperity. Thank you. My contact number is 0813-619-2941. You can also reach me on my email, wale.shueton@laspec.gov.ng. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shueton. That was indeed a very wonderful one. When chartered accountants speak to you, you will know they are trying to help you keep your money. I'm also a chartered accountant by profession. I train with Akintola Williams Deloitte. So I can relate with Mr. Shueton's language very well. So for the retirees, I think there was something Mr. Shueton did not add that you will permit me to add to your piece. Don't use your pension money to marry another wife, if you can do that, so that you don't use the pension money to raise kids. That's just by the wayside. I believe that we've enjoyed this moment so far. It's been very great, starting from Mr. Fisoyebo to Mrs. Dugan to our very own Mr. Babatunde Yusuf and to Mr. Adewale Shueton. They really, really handle these topics quite wonderfully well. Great. And special thanks to every one of them. Let's quickly go to the question and answer session to attend to some very important questions. We've been able to answer 41 questions and we have 34 pending at now. I want to assure you that we may not be able to answer all your questions, but you're going to have a response to all questions. We'll try as much as possible to go live at some point so that if you have a question, we're going to allow you to speak live to us about your question, but please don't exceed 90 seconds. If you're telling us a story of how Lagos State was established, believe you me, I will help you conclude the story. Please, let's go straight to the point. And when we get to that segment, I will let you know. But I have a question from Oluwatoyin Fowode, if I pronounce it well. If I do not, please forgive me. This is a question to Mr. Oyebo. Our question reads, will the state pay our leave bonus for the year when you retire the month before October leave bonus payment? So the question is, there's a leave bonus payment. If we are retiring that same year, are we going to get the leave bonus? And another question by someone related to that, would we be paid our salary the very month of our retirement? Over to you, Mr. Oyebo. Make it brief, please. Mr. Oyebo, over to you.
Thank you very much. Of course, the very month of, I said for the last month of your retirement, you are going to receive your salary for that month. However, the salary may be prorated depending on the date you are retiring. If you are retiring after 15th of the month, you will get your full salary. If it is before the thing, the salary will be prorated and you will be paid the number of days you have worked. For the leave bonus, I will let my boss help me to answer that. I will, maybe our executive director should help me with that for the leave bonus.
Thank you. So our executive director, where are you? Hello?
Hello, as regards the question of the leave.
Mrs. Abisoye.
Yes, Mrs. Abisoye would give us a response on that.
Okay. Mrs. Abisoye, you are muted. What is your response to that? Please unmute yourself, Mrs. Abisoye.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Yes, the information with regards to pension leave bonus, rather, after you have retired. The pension. Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Hello?
We can hear you.
The retiree would have to apply.
Okay.
Hello?
We can hear you.
Sorry, I think I have an issue with my phone. Leave bonus after retirement. The retiree will have to apply to the state treasury office for the payment of his or her. That's when he has been able to put in a minimum of about 10 months. So it depends on the grade level.
Okay, if I hear Mrs. Abisoye well, she said retirees will apply to the Treasury Office, and that is based on grade levels. Please, all questions, whether answered here or outside this place, would be attended to. We have the question box, which we are going to attend to, and you can visit the platform, as earlier said by Mr. Babatunde Yusuf. So you feel free to go on that platform. You are going to have responses to your questions. There is a question from Mr. Shomule, Mr. Taib Lawal, and this is for Mr. Babatunde Yusuf. The question is, despite this pandemic, how do we submit our document? And I think Mr. Hafiz Oyebo also has a role to play in answering this question. Or maybe we start with Mr. Hafiz Oyebo. Despite this pandemic, how do we submit our documents? How do we do our documentation?
Yes, thank you very much. A retiree or an intended retiree is not expected to bring documents by his or herself to LASPEC. A retiree is expected to submit a document at a place of work. So with the normal rate of working now, when it's your own turn to go to the office, then do the needful. Submit your document at your own ministry. It is your ministry now that will now take a letterhead to now to now send the document to LASPEC through mail. They could send it to courier, they could send it through anyhow to get to LASPEC and it will be acknowledged. You are not supposed to bring it physically to LASPEC, but to your ministry.
Thank you very much. Mr. Yusuf, do you have anything to say?
Oh yes. I want to add that, you know, for the department processing the documents, there are times when you find some of the documents are not there. There are times you want to also inquire on some documents, maybe because of their status and all that. And what people do quickly is to bring it down to LASPEC. So exactly, that was why we said we now have channels by which they can reach us. And of course, for any documents whatsoever that they need to exchange with us, they use any of those channels. But the beginning of all documentation starts from their parents' ministries.
Thank you very much, Mr. Babatunde Yusuf. We have one question here. Please, if you have any question, we are going to allow 1 or 2 people on live question. We're going to unmute you to ask question live. If you have your question, just raise up your hand. We can see. We'll be able to bring you live to ask your question live. Please, if you have a question live, raise your hand. We'll be able to attend to that. But before going to that, there's been a recurring, very fundamental question here. One from Chineze Onyeso. She said, please, can you throw more light on the difference between programmed withdrawal and annuity pension plan? Mr. Afis Oyebo, can you help us throw more light on the difference between program withdrawal and annuity pension plan?
Okay, thank you very much. In throwing more light to this, I will quickly respond to a question very fundamental by somebody who asked that what will happen if you transfer your service? How will you collect your benefit from that state? For all those of us that transferred our service into Lagos State, all your benefits will be calculated. That will include your service from that state to Lagos State. For example, you served for 20 years, 10 years in Ondo and 10 years in Lagos. Lagos State Pension Commission will calculate all the 20 years benefit and we now apportioned it. For Lagos State own will be paid by Lagos State. For the states you work, we are going to give you that computation sheet, a copy of it, and a covering letter signed by our Director General, notifying that state that all your entitlement has been calculated and that we have paid our part, they should also pay their part. So if that state have taken up the contributory pension scheme as well, they will equally credit your retirement savings account, just like last week have credited your retirement savings account, and you can now have access to it at the same time. However, if they delayed in crediting your retirement savings account, the one Lagos State have credited, you can access that, pending when that state will equally credit your account. So the same process you went through in accessing the one Lagos State paid you, you are going to go through that same process when that state equally paid into the retirement savings account. Invariably, you will have 2 lump sum. Maybe in the first time you go, you collect a lump sum and you are collecting pension. For example, they give you 1 million lump sum and you are collecting 100,000 as your pension. When that money from that state hits your RSA account, you will go back and you will have additional lump sum of maybe about 250,000, depending on how the money is. And your monthly pension will also be increased from 100,000 to maybe 120 or 150. So in other both ways, you are not going to lose, but rather you are going to be okay. Now to the main question of transfer of service. Sorry, to the main question of remind me this one.
The difference between annuity and program.
Okay, difference between annuity and program withdrawal. This is a fundamental question. We always want to know which one is better, which one is not. Well, we said both of them are good, but the main difference from them is in debt. When debt comes, that is what differentiates the two. The main difference is in debt. both of them will pay you monthly pension for as long as you live. The fact is that we have not get any report that a particular pension in Lagos State or of the of Lagos State finishes. The retirement savings account will continue to grow, and the money will continue to grow, and you continue to receive pension. For annuity, you also continue to receive pension. For death now, in program withdrawal, when death comes, all the balance in your retirement savings account will be given to a named beneficiary. And this named beneficiary must have been indicated in your will. In your will by yourself before you die, that so person collect my balance. But when you do annuity, as at the point of filling the annuity agreement, you will have indicated the beneficiaries there. Either you want 5 people to share the balance. If that death comes before 10 years, okay? Now, when you die, for program withdrawal, the balance will be transferred. And if there is no will, a letter of administration will have to be presented. But for annuity, they don't have to get to access that particular amount of money. Their name will already be indicated. And we always pray that whoever you indicated in your annuity plan will not get anything. That is the prayer. Because for them to get anything, death must come within 4 to 10 years. So that is the main difference between the two. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Afis, for that explanation. For other questions, we would definitely respond to all questions, which you can find on the LASPEC platform of engagement, frequently asked questions. Some of these questions would go into frequently asked questions to enable us educate you. Don't forget, part of this, the materials for this seminar will be uploaded on the platform for you to go over again. And again, seasoned professionals will have to look into every aspect of the question you asked, and you have response in due course. We cannot promise a date now, but you definitely have these responses. Let's go to live question. We have Taiwo Oluremi. Taiwo Oluremi, please, you are allowed to talk. What is your question? Kindly unmute yourself, Taiwo Oluremi. Please make your question very brief. Taiwo Oluremi, please make your question very brief. Okay.
And my brothers in LASPEC that has been there for us. My question is, I just want to ask, for the fact that we are going and the ministry already knows that we are leaving, I don't think it is proper for us to start writing letter again about the leave bonus. Because like I'll be going in August now, 5th of August, and then the bonus is usually paid in September. So I believe it should be prorated and given to me when it's up, when it's due, as at when due. That is what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. That was a comment. We appreciate you, Taiwo Oluremi. I have Olasukomi Adimola. Please, Olasukomi Adimola, you can ask your question. You should please unmute yourself to ask your question. Olasukomi Adimola. Olasukomi Adimola, please unmute yourself to ask your question.
Good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, sir, please go ahead.
Unfortunately, but there's just one question I want to find out. Can you hear me?
Very well, clearly, sir.
Okay. The question is, I'm just filing my papers today. But the thing is, how do you know if your documents has reached LASPEC for process?
Okay, thank you very much.
So that if we can get messages as regards this, and if there are errors, the individual person can be contacted directly from LASPEC. You are missing this, or bring this along.
Okay, thank you very much.
That's my question.
Thank you, Mr. Olasukomi Adibola. Mr. Afiz Oyebo, over to you, please.
Yeah, thank you very much. Mr. Yusuf has already provided the platform for such. One, like in this program now, we have various phone numbers that are already displayed where they can reach LASPEC. So once you submit your document, they will tell you, your ministry will tell you, oh, by next week, your document will be forwarded to LASPEC. So from next week, start contacting LASPEC to get the information. And once you call this number, we will inform you that whether your document is already with us or not. And for those documents that might be missing, LASPEC have equally been contacting people to provide those documents. We have been doing that.
Thank you very much. On this note, we will not be able to take more questions, but be very sure we're going to respond to all questions because we're limited by time, and time is the chief here. We want to say something, Mr. Hafiz?
No, Yusuf. Let me add to what Hafiz has just said. You know, we have a department where this document will go, and these people are the ones sorting out some of the documents, requirements, and so on. In fact, before you even think of calling us, we would have called you to tell you that this your document remain this, and that. So, and of course, that was the reason why we now provided all the links by which you can reach us. Some of them you have to just scan it to us. Some of them you drop it at our Dropbox. But we are 24/7 ready, and we are there to reach you anytime any of your documents is not there with us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, our noble participants that will soon be retiring. I'm very sure you'll be greatly missed when you leave service. We love you so much for serving Lagos State. We have benefited from your service. We know quite very sure that the discussion today will lead you to a very wonderful retirement in terms of the processes and documentations. And as Mrs. Dugan said, that we should live a healthy life, live better, live comfortably, go for health check, stay wonderfully and gracefully for us, because we want to see you around as long as possible. So to our speakers, we want to thank you very much for your time. You've done wonderfully well. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your intellectual capability. Now, to give a closing remark, I would be inviting Mrs. Abisoye Olushola Adebukola. She is the director with Finance and Investment Unit or Department of Lagos State Pension Commission. She is a chartered accountant with over 20 years of experience. In fact, she is a fellow of ICANN. I can also tell you that she is a chartered tax manager. She's done a lot. She has ACCA, IPSAS. Mrs. Abisoye is seasoned. She's very broad as far as being a risk manager. So Mrs. Abisoye would like to have a closing remark from you as we end this program. Over to you, Mrs. Abisoye.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Yes. They said whatever has a beginning must have an end. Yes, we have come to the end of the program. I believe we have all gained so much. Based on the presentations of the various panelists. We believe now that, our retirees will live a very fruitful life in retirement. They now know how to live their life and how to manage their resources in retirement, and also how to process their retirement documentation with ease. So on that note, I want to, on behalf of the Director General, Lagos State Pension Commission, Mr. Babala Obilano, I would like to say a very big thank you to everyone that has contributed to the success of this, our 18th retirement documentation seminar. I would like to especially appreciate Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, for the special attention and approval he continues to grant Lagos State Pension Commission towards the payment of retirement benefits to our retirees and pensioners. I also want to express my appreciation to the Ministry of Establishment training, pensions, and pensions under the leadership of our amiable commissioner, Mrs. Jibola Ponle, for our continued support and guidance. Thank you very much, ma. We appreciate you, ma. And to the panelists, we thank you so much for the very impactful, educating, and insightful presentations. You have done very wonderfully well. So, our moderator, Mr. Adeyemi Ajayi, we appreciate your efforts so much. We appreciate it most sincerely. Thank you very much. I want to say, well done. Thank you. You have done so well. We appreciate the wonderful job.
Thank you very much.
And so our retirees, our potential retirees, I say hearty congratulations to you all. I believe you can now take care of your health and wealth in retirement. So I wish you restful retirement and success in your future endeavors. God bless you. Please stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Abisoye. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being on this call. We appreciate you. We wish you a wonderful retirement. Long live Federal Republic of Nigeria. Long live Lagos State. Long live Ministry of Establishment, Training and Pension, and long live Lagos State Pension Commission. Hopefully next year, we'll be on this platform again to engage. I believe we've learned a lot. It's been a journey, and I wish you a very wonderful afternoon. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you very much.
Chop no. Okay.